Yo, I'm Jacob Collier, and this is Jesse Vol.4, and I'd like to talk you through a bit of the secrets embedded within Jesse Vol.4.
All right, you ready? You want to see it?
I'd love to see it. Come on,
Or should we wait?
It's time. Wow, it's big. It's bigger than I thought. That is a masterpiece.
Yeah,
That's absolutely insane. It's insane, the crowd, because you can see right in front like this. It's a beast, absolute beast. What a combination of all the stuff I care about. Insanity.
Did it? We did it. It worked out.
It worked out. First thing to say is this masterpiece was created by Dustin Yellin, who's one of my best friends. He's a crazy, crazy luminary, visionary, creator of visual things. And I'm so lucky to have been working alongside him. One person on my team said, "There's the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life." And I said, well, that sounds like it's something I should see. So he showed me, I think it was a bunch of these kinds of figures. And it was just, it was like a ton of bricks. Because it reminded me of me so much.
Right.
So I looked at it and thought, that looks like how I think about things.
That makes sense. Yeah, I remember somebody said, "You gotta listen to this cat's music," and I was like, "Yeah, whatever."
Yeah.
And they're like, "No, like this motherfucker's just banana nuts." And then I listened to the music, and I was like, "Holy fuck, like, that shit's crazy." Blah, 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 blah. And then Jacob came over.
It sounds like the same story. How old are you?
47.
Yeah. So you got 19 years on me.
What are you?
28.
No, I'm 19?
Yeah.
That's so fucked up. Man, when I was 28, you're so farther ahead of me.
Well, I feel like the older I get, the more when I meet a person that's just like, oh, we speak the same language, it's literally irrelevant how old you are. Except that you've got all these stories, and like you've got this, like you've absorbed through osmosis the world for longer.
Yeah, I mean, besides how your physical body sort of becomes more painful as you get older, what I've found is it just gets better and better, because it's almost like your life is a piece of glass that gets thicker and thicker and thicker. So the older you get, the more you can see.
Yeah.
And the more you can be curious, and the more
contain,
you can,
the more you can hold as well.
Yeah, and the more you're like, oh fuck, I've been to 100 countries, and I've lived with, scores of tribes. I've been in the ocean, or I went to space, or those experiences start to like.
Yeah, layer on layer. So within this are 3,100 individual objects, and they are sourced from a variety of places. Some are cut from magazines, cut from books. Some are photographs or 3D scans of things that belong to me or people that I know, people that have been a part of the album. And some are things I have no idea what they are at all. But there's a whole mixture of stuff. And so some of these things are very, very important objects to me. So for example, down here in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a few musical instruments here that have been like very, very important in my musical development and my growth. See this down here, this djembe drum? That was my first ever musical instrument that I received. It was my 8th birthday. And so it goes, doo, it's a good one, doo. And there's another version of that's just up here. This is the upright piano that I learned like the whole of musical harmony on as a kid. And this is that exact piano that's embedded within the glass. There's my dulcimer there. It's like a ukulele bass and a tabla. These are all things that are in my room in London at home. And so you see here, there's all these fish. One of the concepts I've been becoming increasingly obsessed and fascinated by lately is this idea of crowd psychology, herds, the murmuration of birds, shoals of fish, collectivism, you could say. These big bodies of people, creatures that think as one. I've been experimenting this from a musical perspective for a while with the audience choir.
The symphony of voices, all the different voices coming together probably was a big influence, but also just how weird and nasty it is, and how it can go from sort of melodic to hardcore to, it feels very, very psychedelic and very, almost like a play.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I've just become obsessed. I've always been obsessed with the human voice, but I've just recently become increasingly obsessed with just like the human voice en masse, like what it can do when things forge and come together, like the muckiness of language and like the gutturalness of strangers interacting in harmony. So it's like making these walls of towering walls of harmony in the chaos of the world. And so within this are a few sort of alternate versions of that being incarnated in nature. So there's shoals of fish here, both sides. There's murmurations of birds here, flying, flocking. sort of particles of stars here that group together. There's kind of like these molecular forms, these sort of red globular molecular forms like atoms and like dust. And within the piece, there's so many people. If you look very closely, you see all these different kinds of faces wearing different kinds of hats. And some of these people I know, some of these people I do not know. Some of these people have been found by Dustin. There's also around the sort of central sun of the image, this red sun of the image, all sorts of rocks and planets, meteorites. Again, things that move in as groups with as a central sense of gravity, which I just love. I love the whole idea of that. Another thing I really love is things that move in circles. So cycles, forms. See up here we've got these bicycle wheels, things that sort of spine around and belong to themselves and are very complete within forms of inner circuitry, clockwork structures. All that stuff is very, very interesting to me. It's one of these pieces, I suppose a bit like the way that I would maybe create a song, but it's like you have many, many different layers of things that all add up to make this big old structure. In fact, if you look closely, you can see these little sort of audio regions. These are directly taken out of Logic sessions that I created, and Dustin and his team, they painted them onto the glass with a very, very fine paintbrush, so you can see those are actually hand painted on. And one of the coolest things about this piece is the mixture of mediums. You've got photographed mediums, scanned mediums, you've got scissors, you've got screens, and you've also got paint. So the red, so the heart of the piece, this red sun, was painted, I think it's about 10, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it's about 10 different layers of glass, different kinds of sort of half transparent paints, like paint mixed with water, that creates this kind of like glowing center of the piece, which I really love. And in a sense, for me, this is like the fire, the heart, And it's an idea that I've been obsessed about for the whole of the duration of this whole quadruple campaign, this idea of the heart of the piece. But it's in there it is. All of the people who sent me a moon video for my rendition of Moon River back on Jesse Vol.2, they're all in here, and some of these friends of mine are very legendary. So see there's Herbie Hancock in the front there, Quincy Jones, there's Catherine Tickell there, Jules Buckley, Dodie, Mel Garbus from Tune Yards, Tori Kelly's in there, all sorts of people. Greg Fillinganes, Nikki Yanofsky, there's Mike League in there too, Tom Mish. And if you look closely, you find all these people. These are all my mates, It's cool. And down the bottom, we've got a bunch of animals down here on this side here. Sort of herd of some of my favorite creatures. You've got lemurs and dogs and monkeys. You've got antlers. I spoke about the fish before, dinosaurs, all sorts of things. Just like having a good old time. I guess that's about it. But I'm so excited for people to spend time with not just the record, but also this piece. And on the record, one of the favorite things that I find about the record is that it's built from so many voices in the world, so many different particles. And last year in 2022, I traveled all over the world touring, and I recorded all the different audience choirs from the duration of the tour. And the sound of those 150,000 voices is on the album. So if you look into the piece, it's almost like you're looking into this crazy half digital, half analog sense of the human spirit. Like what happens when you congeal these ideas together, these forces collide. So I'm so pleased with this. I'm so proud of this. And thank you, Dustin, if you're watching. I love you very, very much. And yeah, Jesse Vol.4 is in the world. It feels really good. Catch you later. Bye.